After observing firsthand mountaintop removal in West Virginia, Robert Kennedy Jr. stated, "King Coal is now accomplishing what the glaciers could not, obliterating the hemisphere's oldest, most biological, dense, and diverse forest." MTR, mountaintop removal, is one of the most devastating environmental issues faced in the U.S. today, with significant health and environmental risks. While you may feel somewhat removed from MTR, its contribution to our energy supply is as close as a light switch on the wall. I begin with a survey of MTR and its health and environmental risk. Secondly, some major reasons for the persistence of MTR. And finally, a policy proposal that will mitigate the tremendous damage resulting from MTR. Mountaintop removal poses devastating health and environmental risk in Appalachia. Mountaintop removal has destroyed vast amounts of Appalachia. There are over 470 mountains leveled since the 1980s. By 2012, over 820,000 acres were destroyed by MTR. MTR ravages the environment and threatens human health. MTR also devastates freshwater streams. Over 1,200 miles of streams are already severely damaged. Significant elevations of selenium downstream from valley fields. MTR also destroys ancient forests. The EPA estimates that by 2013, a forested area the size of the state of Delaware will have been destroyed. MTR threatens the health and lives of those living near coal production. Residents near heavy coal production have higher risk for cardiopulmonary disease, chronic lung disease, and kidney disease. Hospitalization for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and hypertension are significantly higher for residents near heavy coal production. In 1972, sludge impoundment failed in Logan County, West Virginia, which killed 125 people and destroyed thousands of homes. Approximately 450,000 West Virginians are without drinkable water. There are several factors which perpetuate the MTR plague on Appalachia. MTR satisfies America's demand for cheap energy. In the past 20 years, the U.S. demand for electricity has increased 70%. Coal provides fuel for 52% of America's electricity. Environmental protections were weakened significantly and unenforced during the Bush administration. In 2007, the Interior Department, pending EPA approval, did away with regulations that banned dumping mine waste within 100 feet of a stream. One EPA official working during the Bush administration told the New York Times that EPA workers were told to take our clean water and clean air cases, put them in a box, and lock it shut. State officials in West Virginia cited more than 4,200 water pollution violations since 2000. In December 2008, the last hour before Bush left office, the EPA passed a ruling that did away with the 25-year tradition to regulate the dumping of coal mining waste into waterways. Congress should strengthen the Clean Water Act. Strengthening the Clean Water Act for MTR requires 3 provisions. Create a 2,000-foot buffer zone between freshwater streams and coal waste. Limit the size of all valley fields to 35 acres, and all permits for MTR shall be issued by the EPA under the Clean Water Act. The proposed legislation will reduce health risk and the environmental impact on MTR. A 2,000-foot buffer zone will reduce health risk. Currently, mine waste, including the toxic chemical selenium, finds its way into freshwater streams because of the lack of reasonable buffer zone. Expanding the buffer zone to 2,000 feet, approximately 4/10 of a mile, reduces the risk of harmful chemicals entering freshwater streams. Limiting the size of valley fields to 35 acres will reduce environmental harm. An EPA environmental impact study found that a 35-acre limit would result in the fewest environmental impacts on streams, forested areas, and species. Limiting the size of valley fields will also reduce the size of MTR, which results in less deforestation and less likelihood of flooding. Making the EPA the sole agency for issuing MTR permits will reduce health and environmental harms. Currently, permits for MTR may be issued by the Army Corps of Engineers, which has failed miserably in protecting the environment. The Corps itself stated that it probably shouldn't be overseeing such permits because the dump contained polluting chemicals regulated by the EPA. In 2007, a case pitting environmentalists against Massey Energy, a judge found that the Corps failed to take a hard look at the destruction of the hard water at the headwater streams in West Virginia. Making the EPA responsible for issuing MTR permits will end the nationwide 21 permit process. The nationwide 21 permit authorizes discharge of mountaintop mining debris into valleys and streams with virtually no environmental oversight if the Corps has determined that only minimal damage will result. In closing, MTR brings significant risk, damage to public health and the environment. Implementing a 2,000-foot buffer zone, 35-acre limit on valley fields, and placing the permit process solely in the hands of the EPA will greatly minimize the risk associated with MTR. As Robert F. Kennedy Jr. states, it is time we stop obliterating the hemisphere's oldest, most biologically dense, and diverse forests. Thank you for your time.